Tonight, Ion Hazzikostas hit Twitch for a little Q&A. We'll have the details. This week marks the first season of ranked play in Heroes of the Storm. We'll check in and see how it's going. Plus, competitive play in Overwatch, your questions and more as Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. From the Convert to Raid podcast power station in Minneapolis, Minnesota, today is June 21st, 2016, and it is now 9:10 in the PM. Thanks for joining us from all around the Blizzard universe. That's what I have to say now. Battlenet News. That's it. That's what we're doing now. My name is Pat Crane, your host of the show. And as always, the players are here. First up, we'll go to the man from Lords of the Storm. He's totally in the dark. It's Gizmo! Hey, buddy.
It's me. It's, I know I'm in the dark, but I just figured my skin's pale enough right now. I just glow in the dark, so, the people on video can still see me.
Nice.
But I'm still recovering from this gosh darn cough, but I am pumped and ready to go
Awesome.
this evening.
Awesome. Cool. And from Line of Sight Gaming, he's back. My gosh. Look out.
Oh my goodness.
It's Tattva. Hello, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
I know.
Ages,
it has.
Even. Ages.
It's your first Battlenet news show. Look
My
at that.
first show of 2016, probably. Not that bad. I'm just kidding. But
It's been a while.
close. Yeah, it's been a really long time.
It has been a while. Good to see you as always. And I know that we have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I think we just kind of roll into it, really. But first of all, Tattva, what have you been doing with your life in the last, I don't know, 16, 17 months, whatever it's been?
Well, I got caught up in the whole real life grind for a while there. Just work and work and work and work.
Work.
Anyways, but I don't know. Lately, it's been actually pretty awesome. Got that invite to the World of Warcraft, or just the Warcraft movie.
Oh
premiere.
yeah. You were there with Mick and with Darius and Tovo and So I bet that was a bunch of fun. We heard you guys on the special report on the audio side of things. So if you guys check that out, you can do that. But good time.
Yeah, it was epic. I mean, it was cool doing the whole black carpet. I mean, people have probably talked about it already, obviously, but they couldn't do a red carpet because it would be board favoritism, and so they had to do a black carpet.
Right.
Anyways, and so I mean, it was cool being there. It was cool seeing all the actors come through and do the interviews. Jamie Lee Curtis doing one of the best Leroy Jenkins ever.
Did you see it? Did you see that she actually met up with Leroy Jenkins?
Oh yeah, I was 10 feet away from that whole meetup. She was so super excited to meet him, which was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so that was all cool and everything. And seeing the movie, of course, I'm a big lore nerd and I just love everything about Warcraft, and I'm easily entertained and easy to please. But of course, I love the movie. I thought it was beyond epic and it was great. But the best part of that whole experience was the second day. They had this little summit set up for us about Legion. You can interview developers and stuff. But I mean, even more than that, it was just meeting some people at Blizzard and talking to them and their plans as far as the community goes, and getting to tour the Blizzard campus.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
It's cool. If you haven't done it before, that's amazing. It's an amazing time. So I'm glad that you got to do that and hang out with those guys a little bit.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. And Gizmo, you've seen the movie since we spoke last, I'm guessing.
Yes,
and
I have.
And what did you think? Let's just do a quick thing, like a 5-star rating. What would you give it overall?
Me personally would give it 5 stars. I loved it. There was in my opinion, some of the writing was a little weak. I think they cut out too much. There was too much information they were trying to pack into a just over 2-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of the story just seemed to move a little quick. As somebody who isn't necessarily crazy about World of Warcraft,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably give it a
Blasphemy.
2.5 to 3.
Oh,
Probably more on the 3 side because
Yeah.
it's a beautiful looking movie. The CGI in it is amazing. I don't understand where it's too cartoony, the CGI looks like crap. That is the best CGI I've ever
yeah.
seen.
I don't see that either. So
It's nuts. The little Easter eggs for all the World of Warcraft people on there is amazing. I am super excited to buy it. I hope they have a director's cut on DVD with the cutscenes.
yeah, that is what I'm hoping too, because it seems like that there was an awful lot that could have been in there that wasn't. It did seem like it was a little jumpy. Like you moved from place to place to place a little, maybe too quick for me, but it was still good. It was still good.
Yeah,
I would give it like a 4, like a solid 4.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because of the way that it jumped around and the way that the story was kind of cut up,
Yeah. And they said they cut about 40 minutes from the movie.
Wow.
Like I feel like 2 hours 40 minutes would have been a perfect time for that movie length.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, the good news is, and this is all part of the show notes later on, but we can do this now. But Warcraft is the highest grossing video game movie worldwide. So there. It's got 377 or ish million bucks in worldwide distribution, and that's awesome. In the States, it really didn't hit very well, but in China alone, it was like 200 million. So
yeah,
they're in the black. That's good. And that means that there's a possibility for more, which is great. So I'm looking forward to more. I hope that they just, if they're going to do another one and they're like kind of worried about how it'll do, just get that Arthas story out. Get that Arthas story out and just nail it. And just, because that's so amazing. And so many people want that. And oh man, it'd be so great.
I'm just hoping I don't have to watch the next one in subtitles because it did well everywhere else.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, it'll be fine.
Exactly.
No, like I don't know, like my personal, opinion, of course, like I just said that I love the movie and stuff. I've seen it 3 times already, personally. But anyways, yeah, taking friends and family and whoever to the show. But I think the biggest thing, like even in talking like to people the night when we saw the premiere, like at that whole experience, we were in a theater full of WoW nerds, like 100% WoW nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And even talking to people after that, like just that hesitancy. And I think a lot of it boils down to the fact that we want, like, as fans of WoW, we want people to love it so much, and we're hypercritical of it. And so even that first viewing, everyone's just like, please be good. And so the entire movie, it seems like you're focused on picking out every little detail and stuff. And even for myself, like there was moments where I was just like, okay, like we get it, move this scene along, move it along, like that first time and stuff. And I was just like so frustrated. But then the second time I saw it, like all those like scenes that I was frustrated about, and even like the storyline or even like dialogue problems, like the second time I'm just like, it's really not that bad. So, if you're a WoW fan, I would go see it again, because I imagine the first time you saw it, you were doing exact same thing as everyone else, being just like, please be better than this. Please be better.
Right.
And so go back, watch it, and enjoy it. Instead of being so worried about it.
It is kind of one of those things. And I think there were a lot of reasons why people were super critical about it. And it was well founded, because let's face it, this movie was announced in 2006. And it went through a lot of different versions. It went through multiple directors. It went through casting weirdness and all this kind of stuff. And so if you are a Warcraft fan, if you're a World of Warcraft fan, and you've been keeping track of what this movie's doing, you were nervous because they were just kind of monkeying around with this whole thing over and over and over again. But it turned out good. And it turned out great as far as the money goes, because, now they can hopefully make another one and see how another one does. So Now that they got one out of the way, now they can do whatever they want, I think. So
Boom.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. I actually saw that at the Minnesota meetup. So the Minnesota meetup was really, really great as well. There were 120 some odd people there.
That's amazing.
So it was really, really cool. And we were all, just ready for it. All WoW nerds, all laughing when we saw the Murloc, all, just really amazed by all the different cities and so beautiful. So it was really great, and we got to do an entire weekend with these folks. Like Friday night, we were hanging out in the hotel, doing Hearthstone fireside games and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then
cool.
Yeah, and then after the movie, because we saw the movie in the morning, we went out a bunch of us went out to Valley Fair, which is an amusement park out here, and did all the rides. And it was super hot out, so I was just like, my key was to stand by the water rides and just outside of the splash zone, just so I can get that fine mist and just mist,
just the mist,
just the mist. So
perfect picture opportunity, a glistening Pat Crane, just a nice glistening Pat Crane.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, we should probably just move on to the news, as long as we're already there. All right, let's talk a little bit about WoW. First up, Legion developer Q&A. We had one of those, our first one of several. And this one was with Ion Hazzikostas. Ion Hazzikostas and Lore talked a bunch of different questions from the crowd. And this came out, when was it? A couple days ago. Last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about personal loot changes, leveling as a healer, content lulls, and how to, manage those a little bit better, and more. So, guys, I just kind of want to shoot it to you and see what you thought of the interview. If there's anything that stuck out, Tattva, I'm going to go to you first. So what are your thoughts, bud?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the whole premise and thing that they're trying to do with these little Q&As and stuff from week to week, I mean, it sounds like they're going to try to keep it going. But I mean, it's perfect because it's basically jumping off or bringing Lore's PST back. That's basically 100% what it is.
Yeah.
But with some big gun Blizzard backup, to help him out.
Right.
And so the whole thing's awesome. Lore is very comfortable with that whole setup. He knows how to run things and stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they went through a lot of good questions, and I don't know, and Ian gave a lot of really good answers. Just as far, I mean, he always is like that. He's fairly straightforward and kind of to the point. And I mean, he loves the game as much as anyone. So, and it's easy to see that. So I think it was an awesome little thing. I mean, they had actually a surprising amount of viewers for just a Legion Q&A. Because I mean, I was watching it on Thursday when it was live, and I mean, they fluctuated and stuff, but I can't remember if it got up to 30 or 40,000 at one time. But I mean,
they get a lot of hits, man.
But for a Legion Q&A, that's pretty impressive. And so I'm just glad that people are interested, and they're interested to hear what the higher ups are thinking in the direction that Legion is going.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right. Giz, was there anything that stuck out for you as far as some of the stuff that Ian had to say?
Yeah. So first off, again, there was a ton of information packed into this. I know it was like an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. Some of it stuff we kind of knew, some of it we didn't. Some of the things I was glad to hear about. The loot system. Now, with personal loot, a lot of people didn't like doing it because, there was a pretty good chance you were going to get something that you already had something better and couldn't use it. Well, now, if that's the case, if it isn't an upgrade for you, if it's lower or even equal to your item level, you can trade that with somebody in your raid group, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's going to make personal loot so much better. It's going to feel more rewarding. I think, it's going to make personal loot more viable.
Yeah, well, and it's gonna make it the go-to. It's gonna be one of those things where you just go, you know what?
Yeah,
we're gonna set it on personal loot, and if you get something that somebody else can use, just give it to them.
Yeah,
done.
It works really well. And then I mean, you can still, 2 people need that. Okay, those 2 people roll for it. Works great. Mm-hmm. It's also cool for healers. I know some people were worried because once you get your first artifact weapon is going to be fairly easy to get. But they've been saying how, the second one you're not going to be able to get for a while. It'll be harder. Well, the healers are like, okay, well, I don't want to level up as healing, but that's what I want to be doing in game. Well, they're making it to where it's easier to level up in a healing spec. It's still not going to be as fast as a DPS spec. But they said they're doing things to help it, more healer damage, some artifact talents and traits to help along with that. And just a lot of cool things. But there's really a ton of information in here. I know there's the nice post on MMO Champions with all that stuff, PvP gear, professions, storytelling.
Right. And by the way, both of those things, both the personal loot system kind of going into where this thing where you can kind of, help out your teammates, and healer leveling, for me, it's big applause time. Wait, what happened? Oh, there it is.
The button. Where's the button?
Why isn't it working? Oh, I know why. Is that the reason why? There we go. Okay. Yay. Man, for some reason I turned it all the way down and I didn't understand what was going on. But thank you, Blizz, for that. I mean, because that's super awesome. And I think it was also kind of interesting because Ian was talking a little bit about the lull and saying, okay, guys, I know anything I say here is going to be taken with a grain of salt, and it's rightfully so. Actions speak louder than words. And that's basically what he said. He was like, yep, we said we wanted to speed things along, and we really didn't. We were just a little too... we wanted to do too much with Legion, and it kind of bit us in the butt, and we apologize. But hopefully, this expansion and the way that they're looking at Legion is that it, like, every piece of it is expandable along all of Legion. So as they move through, they will be able to expand all these little different parts out, build them out a little bit more. So hopefully, there will be more content patches between expansions, so that we won't have to worry about 12, 14 months of kind of like alt time,
raid,
or Overwatch time, or Heroes of the Storm time, whatever it is. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad that they addressed it, and I'm glad that it seemed reasonable.
Yeah. And however, if it does turn into alt time, Legion is going to be the most alt-friendly expansion in terms of diversity and replayability of the content.
That's what he says.
There we go. Perfect.
So, and it does kind of seem that way too, because they're going to be, I mean, it's very flexible. It's all very flexible. And I haven't been on the beta in a long time. And I know that the PTR actually came out this week as well. This last a week-ish ago. And
the pre-event.
The pre-event.
Pre-expansion patch.
The pre-event, and spoilers, there's a demon invasion.
What?
Did any of you guys check out the PTR at all? Because I did not. I was out of town for a lot of that stuff, so I haven't.
I haven't. I kind of got I sunk my teeth into alpha enough, I think, that I'm ready for the actual stuff to come hit me.
You just want
I'm
it.
just ready to take. I just want the thing.
Stuff. You just want the thing.
Want the thing.
Yeah. Tattva, did you just? I know that you were all over the alpha, and I know that you've been busy.
Yeah, so. I was going crazy with the alpha and stuff, and like, I mean, we got some of the spoilers as far as the pre-event event, within the quest lines for the artifact weapons. Just from class to class, like, you find out some huge spoilers anyways within there. And so the pre-event obviously is the initial invasion of the Burning Legion. And it's just like, it's going to be epic. And I that's one thing, like, I was even hesitant to play the alpha and beta, as far as like, just kind of scared to not, like, I like to experience it firsthand, like, in the moment. But I'm glad I went on the beta. But for this, I'm going to save it for live, because things are changing. It's not going to be pretty.
Things are changing.
It's not going to be pretty at all.
No, yeah,
but
it's kind of cool though. I mean, it's pretty neat, and I kind of saw like a very early version of what was going on with the pre-launch event. And it looked cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing more what it is. And I've been looking at Wowhead and all that stuff but
I mean, as far as like WoW lore fans go, like this expansion is going to be entirely epic. Like just the story and the characters that are involved with this coming up expansion. Like there's some epic places and some epic characters that we're dealing with. So I don't know, as far as the replayability that Giz was talking about, I mean, getting as much of the story as you can, like it's going to be epic. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's so much more story to digest because of all the class halls and stuff. Each class and spec seems to have its own story, which is awesome. Somebody asking in chat, when do you guys think this pre-expansion patch is going to hit?
Oh man,
we're going to see it.
Let's see. So pre-expansion. So if it's up now, we're looking at let's say. Well, I mean, if it's 2 months, that falls right in line, right? I mean, it's because if you're looking at August, that's fine. Sometime in August, because have
they kind of been 6 weeks in the pat? Like, is 6 weeks ish a good?
I always kind of think of it as around 2 months. So
yeah, between a month and 2 months is.
Yeah, so my guess would be second week of August.
Because I mean, even Ian himself like addressed that question in the
by saying he's not going to say anything.
Yeah, because I mean, he literally like, I mean, and that's kind of cool of him just to be like, hey, I mean, a lot of people want to know when, and we have goals and all that kind of stuff, but things happen, and we literally a lot of times don't know until like the day before when we're going to launch things, just because of how problems pop up or how they're solved, and so I don't know. It's gonna be up there with some of the best. Too bad no zombie infection thing. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Do we know if the new spell effects and stuff are coming with this pre-expansion patch, or is that with the actual expansion? Because I gotta say, some of the new spell effects are freaking amazing looking.
Like what?
The mages, frost mages, they used to have like just the little spikes above their head that would shoot off one at a time. Apparently now there's a talent that all of a sudden combines them into one giant icicle of death to be fired at their enemy. And it's just a really cool looking effect, cool sound effects. And I've heard all the Zords who say they're never playing WoW again are, of course, mumbling about WoW now, getting ready for the next expansion. So that's one of the things they're excited about.
That's cool.
I mean, even Melee got a lot of love.
I think everything. So usually with the pre, I mean, basically it's 7.0, right? So with 7.0, you can look forward to all the class changes, all of the spell effects changes that they have in beta and on the PTR right now. So all of those should be available, you would think.
New login screen,
new whatever.
Demon hunters are supposed to be there at some point.
At some point they'll be there, they said not right away, because it's going to be the people that have bought Legion have bought it now. Those guys will have advanced playtime for the Demon Hunter.
Yeah, basically allowing them to level up to 100 before the expansion launches, which is an awesome thing, instead of having to cover those 3-4 levels to catch up with everyone and then have to level on top of things. It's nice that they're allowing people to be on the same playing field as far as that, hero class.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So all of that stuff is going to be coming very, 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 very soon. And also, if you guys aren't in the beta and you want to get a jump in on what is going on with your particular class and spec, you can copy your character over now into the PTR and check out all the new stuff for your character. Even if you don't care about anything else, go there and check out your rotation and the talents and all the new stuff for just doing things that are going on. So I think it's a good time to do that. Why not?
Oh, and that also means that if you have anything that you want to do left to do in WoD, whether it's challenge modes, any of the achievements, all that kind of stuff, better hurry.
Wrap
'cause
it
it's
up.
leaving soon.
Wrap it up. You probably only have through, part of July until some of that stuff goes away, and like the Moose Mount and stuff like that. Is that done? No, that's not done.
I'm
but
pretty
it
sure.
will be.
I'm
But it will
pretty
be.
sure all leaves.
Yeah. That'll be gone. So if you still need to get your Moose Mount, get it now. So yeah. Do that.
Oh, they also mentioned in the thing, ring, your legendary ring, if you haven't started the quest.
Right.
If you're on it, you can finish it, but if
Yeah.
you haven't started it, those quest givers are going away.
Yep. So, for all of that stuff, you can always go to the worldofwarcraft.com website thingy. Check out the developer Q&A. Check out the all this stuff for the PTR and whatnot. So check all that stuff out. And this week, it's going to be Paul Cubitt to discuss professions. So if you're into professions, they're going to do a developer Q&A on Thursday, all about professions, and hopefully it'll clear up all that stuff, because I know that was kind of a point of contention with a lot of folks with Warlords. They wanted their professions, and it didn't feel right. So, but they're doing a bunch of stuff with professions, and you can check it all out. All right, let's talk some HOTS. I know
heroes.
I know Gizmo is excited.
I am excited. So we've been talking about all the changes that are getting ready to come, or that were getting ready to come over the past few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are finally here. The latest patch this last Tuesday, I guess a week ago from today, brought Medivh, of course, right alongside the Warcraft movie, into Heroes, which was much anticipated. However, it also brought Season 1 of Ranked Play, unranked draft mode, and oh boy, that is what that game needed. I don't know, Tattva, if you agree with that, because yes.
Oh, I definitely agree with it. It's like, I personally, real life caught up with me, and so I didn't really have time for any games, let alone Heroes or otherwise. But it had been a long time since I played Heroes, but I used to play a lot of League back in the day and stuff, and with the advent of rank play, I'm super stoked about it. I've been actually playing quite a bit, probably a couple matches a day, and I think the day that the rank came out, I just did all 10 games, solo queued them, just yellowed it, just like
wow,
solo queue yellow. Here we go.
Wow, nice work.
Wouldn't recommend it. Bring a teammate. It's a little bit better.
You want to duo queue that if you can, but I gotta admit, I feel the past few weeks I had been talking Medivh up a lot. The word on the streets was that he was going to be super overpowered. And I'm admitting I may have been wrong here. I'm not for sure yet, but
there's they might have to do a balance patch or whatever to help him out a little bit.
Well, and so his win rate right now is like 25%, which is not good. It is the lowest for a new hero so far. However, I do believe this is he has a high skill cap, but I also think he has a high skill floor.
Oh, okay.
Meaning you have to be great with him to have any impact on the game. And like we said before, it's going to be really hard to play him solo queue. He's really just, if you're playing with a full team, maybe he'll be good. And I don't know.
But he'd be a surprise pick, even with a team.
The main thing with Medivh, playing him, he might feel a little underpowered, but the main thing with him is it not only requires a high skill cap from you, but he is a tremendous support. And so if your team doesn't know how to use him or use his gates, that's one of his abilities just completely wasted, because people are just like, oh, sweet, what is this? Click, and then all of a sudden they're teleported into the enemy team, and they're like, what? Why am I over here now? And it's just, and so, not only do you have to know how to play him, your team has to know how to utilize his abilities, because that's completely what he's based on. Oh, yeah. Even his traveling thing, he can turn into his little crow and fly around, which offers awesome.
Tattva. It's a raven.
It's a raven.
Raven. Sorry, I'm in Game of Thrones talk. Yeah. Shut up. But
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Oh, last week's episode.
Space
Holy
pants.
Smoke. Anyways.
Oh, love that show.
That will derail the
Yes, it would.
topic
Yeah,
right
it
now.
would.
Anyways, but I mean, he offers amazing vision. Like, I mean, one of the reasons why Zagara is like so strong is because just her little creep tumors, and she can just cover the map and offers awesome vision, which in turn offers awesome opportunities for team fights or ganking or, you know, catching people off guard and all that kind of stuff. And he literally can just like cruise around and follow people, like just fly over their heads, just like, oh, here's the enemy team, guys, just in case you wanted to know. I mean, and that's huge. But
It is.
as far as teams utilizing him, it does, like Giz says, it does require a team effort.
It's going to be a little bit before I think we see him in competitive play, which is where he's going to strive, of course, because those teams have excellent communication, excellent strategies and whatnot. But there was a little bit more to come along with that patch. Not really. It was really one of our smaller patches.
No,
season 1. It's pretty big. Well, besides the new game mode, like there wasn't many hero changes.
Tyrael, of course not. They had to work on the rest of the stupid game.
Tyrael got some mana nerfs, and there actually was a big one that's kind of hidden. They have made improvements to frame rates in that game. A lot of people were having really low like frame rate problems, and they had to like tweak their settings, like, oh, turn this on, turn this off. If you do it in the right order, you magically have better FPS. But apparently they've made significant improvements to that. So that's really good for play just overall. But yeah, season 1, it's here. If you haven't, if this is what you've been waiting for to get back in Heroes, do it, because now's the time.
So I hear some really bad stuff, though. I've heard some really bad stuff about placement matches. Can you talk a little bit about, I don't know how many you've done, if you've done all 10 or whatever, but I heard, like I was talking with Jules Scott today, and she was like, oh my God, it was so horrible. It was the worst thing ever, because she only won 2 out of the 10, and she knows that she's better than that, but she starts off at the bottom of the ladder, and now has to fight her way up to go do whatever. And she's like, it was the worst play I've ever seen. I, like, get in there with all these people, and it's just the worst game ever. It's like horrible play. I don't know if that's the same experience that you've had.
A lot of people are, and it's a really tough thing, because as Blizzard, what are you supposed to do? You can't reset people's MMRs for this, because then you have people of all skill levels clashing, and it's going to be a mess. If you didn't touch it, people would be pissed, because they would feel like they're still stuck in that, MMR hell. They did try and tweak it a little bit. And one of the problems, I'm not sure how good or bad of a move it was right now, but they put a lot of what's called priority on these placement matches, meaning in these 10 games, your MMR is either going to skyrocket or dip in each of these placement matches.
Thankfully, my MMR has nowhere to go but up.
there you go. But that puts a lot of pressure on these. And again, it's if you're solo queuing, which a lot of people do, it's quite a bit of risk, because 10 games isn't that many whenever it can have this big of an impact on your MMR, because you have I've had bad runs before, just 6-7 game losing streaks. Probably more than that, let's be honest. But if you have that in these placement matches, you're going to get placed pretty low, and it's going to be a long crawl up. But this is something that with the more seasons we have, the more accurate MMR is going to be, the less painful it's going to be. There's not going to be 10 placement matches for each season. I think they said they want to get it down to 3 or 4. So it's just going to be growing pains with the game. Unfortunately, these are growing pains that should have started a year ago, and they're just now starting. But it's to be expected.
Right. I mean, the other thing to like think about when you're going into these placement matches, and that's what they are, is placement. It's the start of a season. It's going to be a long haul. Like I played my games. I hadn't played in a while, but whatever. Anyways, I got placed Platinum 3 or something like that, and I just nosedived as soon as I got in there. It's just like, oh, nice. Okay. Well, nice. But that's the funny thing is like, people are still learning the game. Like, there's a lot of people coming from different MOBAs, a lot of people who aren't experienced with MOBAs, and it's just a different game. And so, like, as far as as far as being able to throw a game, I don't think there's any game in the world that is like Heroes. Like, I mean, you could be 7 levels ahead, just wrecking face, and then all of a sudden the other team's equal with you and you're getting stomped. And it's just like, I mean, most of it's my fault as far as the games I play, because I'm extremely aggressive. And
yeah, you are.
And I've played with you. Just to go along with that, like, I mean, that's the other thing, is you have to make proper choices as far as like the role you're going to play. Like, what if you feel that you're a stronger player, what would have the biggest impact? And like, I mean, I've been kind of going towards tanks. Like, I mean, an assassin can do a good job as long as they're picking off the right targets and stuff. But I mean, if you have, like, for my playstyle personally, like, I have to go tank, even though I prefer like Brawl or Zagara or all these other champions. I have to play tank. Otherwise, I'm just going to charge in, die, and I do that anyways. But I mean, it's just like, it's all going to even out. And so I wouldn't really worry too much about the placement games. Go for it, play them, and start the grind. I mean, that's what it is. Like, you're playing competitively. It's fun. You're going to win some. You're going to lose some. Your placement's going to go up and down throughout the season. And I mean, that's just part of the learning curve. Like, you have to learn to work as a team with a bunch of random people, and it's hard, but like, it's gonna be awesome. So don't be scared.
But it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really hard, but it's gonna be awesome. You're always so upbeat.
I think it's worth mentioning. So they had season rewards for preseason.
Yeah.
They had mounts, profile picks, things like that. They've also announced the awards for season 1, which is, along the same lines. This time, instead of a elemental wolf, it's an elemental lizard. But a lot of people don't realize this. If you're playing Hero League, you have to get to rank 20, I believe, to get that elemental mount, and then 10 to get the epic elemental. If you just play your placement matches in Team League, meaning, just get a group of 5 together, you don't have to take it seriously. If you place, you will get that mount, which is it's an awesome mount. And that's a lot that's easy to get, considering you don't have to crawl your way up through the ranks to, I just said level 10 and 20. That's old system. That's not new system. Ignore what I said right there.
All right.
But you don't have to grind. You just got to get through those placement matches, which is nice.
Right. All right. There was also a post about health sustain and kind of the future of supports. And it was from, who actually posted it? It was Matt, from a member of the balance team for HOTS.
Yes, Matt Coop.
Yeah. So what's going on with this, Giz? Because you're kind of the know-it-all here. I mean, you have a podcast about Heroes of the Storm, so I figured that you probably are the one to talk about this.
Yeah, and so it's Blizzard's kind of taking a different approach to discussing balance changes with the community. They've gone to the forums here, and the topic that they were wanting to discuss this time was health sustain, which is really interesting because this could have a huge impact on the game. They just mentioned, different assets of health, such as regen globes, healing fountains, passive health regeneration, along with talents. So right now they're talking about when you're in laning phases, regeneration globes, should kind of have an impact.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're being outlaned, you're not able to get your globes because you're being bullied. It's not a big deal. It doesn't add much to you unless you have a quest for gathering those globes. So they're thinking about tuning those up a little bit, increasing cooldowns on healing fountains to make them feel more impactful, even possibly removing passive health regeneration, which is huge, especially for characters that have like Regeneration Master or First Aid. They haven't announced any changes that they're looking at for support characters specifically. However, all of those previously mentioned possible changes, have a big impact on support characters.
Right.
Because it makes it more important. If you can't go to the healing fountain as often, if you don't have passive health regeneration, that's going to make the support class all the more important. So it's kind of cool to see him go to the forums this way. And it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it because, like I said, health is a big deal in Heroes because that's what you want to have.
What? Because that's
if
how
you have the health, you win.
Right. If
So
you have all the health everywhere, you win.
Yeah, and there's there's been, several comments and stuff made in that post already, but it's I don't know, good big things coming from it.
Big things indeed. Okay, let me switch that off. And also, I mean, there were this last week or so has been a lot of developer updates, and we even saw. So we saw it in Heroes of the Storm, we saw it in World of Warcraft, and now we're seeing it in Overwatch as well. Jeff Kaplan is kind of all over the place. He he recently came out with this video about competitive play. And that's on the launcher. If you just go to the launcher of the Blizzard launcher, you'll just see it. And it'll be like, oh, cool. There's Jeff Kaplan talking about competitive play in Overwatch. So Tattva, can you kind of describe a little bit about what he said at all? Can you try to?
Yeah, he said a lot, but
he did.
And he's a lovely, lovely man. I love that guy. Anyways,
it's funny because he has that lisp. It's kind of like it's an affected speech somehow, and so I just hear it, and it's just very cute and very kind of nerdy, and cool.
Well, he's like the nerdiest dude with like most amount of swag ever. It's amazing. Like I don't even know how he pulls it off. Like I mean, even at BlizzCon and stuff, when he takes the stage, like he's awesome. Like, and he's funny, and it's anyways. Yeah. I love him.
We like Jeff Kaplan, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he started talking about competitive play. He talked about the different iterations during the alpha and beta, and how the seasons used to be only a month long and stuff, and it was really all about a progression system rather than a ranking system for the most part. And like the Overwatch community was very vocal with everything. Like the Reddit, the Overwatch subreddit is like one of the biggest ones now, and like you always see Overwatch stuff on the front page of Reddit now. Just, I mean, people are annihilating this game. Yeah. But and so like the feedback is huge, and they're listening. Like they're playing, but they're listening as well. And so they did this whole revamp. The seasons are going to be 3 months long now, and they'll just go along with the seasons of
the year. Yes.
Yeah, the year. So summer, spring, fall, winter. I said that in the most random order ever, but yeah, it makes sense.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, and so they'll follow that. They steered away completely from this tiered progression system to show more of people's personal skill of their rank. And the ranking system is going to go from 0 to 100. You'll be placed somewhere within there, and then anytime you queue up for a ranked match, your skill level, that's what they're, or skill.
Yeah,
skill rating.
Skill rating.
Skill rating, that's what it was. Anyways, your skill rating will be displayed to everyone in that match. Everyone will see it. And then they'll also average out the two teams, and so you can actually see like, oh, their skill rating is 77, ours is 52. GG, But I mean, but they also said that in situations where there is kind of a discrepancy there, the losing team has less to lose but more to gain from a win. So I don't know, it seems like they've thought about the system a lot, and they're going to go forward with everything. And of course, he mentioned that we're always listening, and there will be future tweaks and all that kind of stuff. And then as well, the rewards. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, but the golden guns.
Oh, the golden guns! Those look so cool.
Oh, back GoldenEye, like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was my jam back in ninth grade.
The man with the golden gun. Yes. Yeah. So those actually do look really cool. And yes, and I think you touched on one of the points that I kind of wanted to bring up, and that was that Jeff and the team over at Overwatch are listening, and they've been upfront, and they said, you know what, let's have a discussion about this, and we'll do this until people just totally revolt on the idea of it. But let's just talk about this, and let's throw out all these different ideas and see what sticks. And yeah, we're gonna probably make some mistakes here and there, but we are really listening to the community. We are really trying, and we are really willing to change as needed for all this different stuff, especially when it comes to competitive play, because they really want that to be a success. So I thought that was kind of cool. Gizmo, did you see anything else? I know that Jeff has been all over the place. He's been in the forums. He's been doing videos. Any of the stuff that Jeff Kaplan has been talking about lately that you want to talk about, Giz?
Yeah, I just again, like you mentioned, just how well they're listening to the community. I mean, they made some drastic changes between the competitive play in alpha and beta to what we're going to see now. Some of the big changes I think are, the games going into sudden death too often. I have felt like, don't get me wrong, it can be fun, especially on those control points where you're in match number 3 on that set, and both teams are at 99%. You keep fighting it back and forth forever. It's exciting, but it happens way too often. They say like 35% of the time right now. So they're cutting back on that, which is nice.
Yeah.
The fact that they're going to be showing the skill rating between 1 and 100.
Does that make you nervous?
Yes and no. This is going to be interesting. A little bit of anxiety. Yeah. People have been asking for this in MOBAs for a long time. This is as close to having your actual MMR shown to everybody you're playing with as we've seen. Mm-hmm. So, people have been wanting this. Be careful what you wish for. We'll see what it's actually like if it, invites some toxicity of, I have a feeling this guy's a 2 on my team. Obviously, he's the reason we lost.
I have a feeling it's going to get a little salty.
just a little salty.
Just a little.
Here comes the level 2 Widowmaker. Oh, GG.
GG. Level 3 Bastion. Okay. Oh, that was the game. Of course, he's playing Bastion.
That was another thing. That was another thing that they're getting rid of. They're getting rid of the avoid this player feature for Overwatch because they were talking to like one of the best Widowmakers in the game, and he was like, "Man, these queues are really long. What's going on?" And it was that people didn't want to play against him because he was too good. And so he had all these really long queues. And then after a while, the game would just try to find something for him. And then he was put up against people of all different levels, including like the new players and stuff like that. And he was just wrecking face and then making more enemies.
That's awesome.
And so they're getting rid of that to help this one guy who is really good at Widowmaker actually be able to play. So and that's good that they're doing all those changes for one guy. Just one guy. That's really cool.
Yeah. Player base. The one thing I was kind of keeping an eye out for during this was to see if they would make changes to like revert back going to like the stopwatch mode. A lot of my friends that have played other shooters and stuff competitively, that's how those games have worked. Where if it's a attack defense mode, if the first team attacks, they complete it in this time. The second team goes. If they don't hit it before that time's over, they lose. That's not the case in Overwatch. I have heard some backlash of people wanting that, so I was interested to see if they were, going to experiment with that, maybe add in the stopwatch, and they didn't. They're sticking to their guns on that, and I personally prefer it. I think it does make for more exciting games.
Right.
You gotta, hey, you guys, you won this attack mode, but now you gotta defend and make your stand in order to win this, or it's going to go to overtime. Right. So,
that's a good point.
And I have no issues with that either. I think that you should just win. If you're gonna win, just win. Don't worry about a timer. Just win. It's fine.
If you're gonna defend.
Hey.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Overwatch PTR is up. So look at that. You can actually get in on the PTR of Overwatch if you want to go preview all the changes and stuff like that. It's available, so you can just install it directly from the launcher, and that's kind of cool too. Because I don't know why I wasn't expecting it from Overwatch for some reason. maybe I thought, oh, they're just gonna do this behind the scenes because they're not gonna really be doing anything. But apparently, they're doing
I mean, that's how Jeff opened that video. Is like, we're working. There's new heroes in the pipeline. Yeah. There's new maps coming out before the end of the year, and then
new heroes. I was like, what? So new heroes.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
That's
and
really cool.
Going back to that attack defend thing, it will be interesting. Like, he didn't mention it in the video. I mean, he mentioned it briefly, saying that they're working on it as far as like Hanamura. What are the other ones? The whole objective A, objective B. Volskaya Industries.
Yeah.
And then
Temple
the Egyptian
of
one?
Anubis.
Temple of Anubis. That's right. Anyways, but they're tweaking those because I mean those were. I mean, I love all 3 of those maps. Like they're super epic, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see what their fix is because I don't know, those kind of tended to be like okay, offense is just like sitting there building up their ults, and then they come swooping in, and it's like, okay, sweet. Well, everyone's dead now, and now they're on to objective B.
Right.
I don't know, it would be interesting to see if they have more points or if there's like varying points. Like it's not always the same. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I always like defending on Anubis, and then right at point A, what you do is you have a Reinhardt, you have a Mercy, you have a Bastion, and a Torbjorn, and other folks
You're
as well.
Dirty.
And you just cheese it. You just cheese the whole thing. It is the worst if you're on attack. It is so bad. That first point, just all those choke points are just crazy. So that first choke point is just nutso. And especially if you have like a Symmetra or something like that on the defense, you're dead. You're just dead. You will not win against that comp. It's so great. All right. Speaking of Overwatch, one last thing, and I think Gizmo, you posted this in our Discord, that Overwatch is actually winning the war in Asia against League, right?
And this is at a LAN gaming center apparently, which may not seem like as big of a deal. That's a huge deal in Korea. Right now, and who knows if it's just because it's the new hot thing, but this really is a good sign for Blizzard's new IP,
right? And this is the first time in 4 years that League has been upset by another game. So I mean, Overwatch,
yeah, because here in America and Heroes, murky is love, murky is life. In Korea, League of Legends is love. League of Legends is life.
Mm-hmm. They don't give a crap about murky.
Now it's Overwatch is love. Overwatch is life.
Well, I've been saying that since I got into the beta, and I was like, oh my god, this game is so kick ass. It's so great. I love it. All right, let's talk a little bit eSports, and then maybe hit a question or two. We have a couple of things, and these are we'll just kind of post these up because I don't know exactly. I didn't get to see these, unfortunately, because I've been so busy this summer. But Hearthstone, Europe and Asia Spring Championship both happened in the last couple of weeks. And in the Europe Championship, Crane, although I wanted him to go all the way, lost in the first round. I was very upset. But and I hear that there was some great. I hear that there in other matches there was some great gameplay. Especially the final match, but in both of those, the number one seeds move on to the thing. They win things.
The road to BlizzCon,
right? The road to BlizzCon, and in HOTS we had Dreamhack this last weekend, right?
Yes, we did. And so as we mentioned, kind of in pre-show, if you're here, they actually set this one up a little bit different. Typically, these tournaments have been 2 really long days of heroes. Mm-hmm. So they kind of broke this one up, the group stages throughout the week, which was nice. Would have been nicer if it wasn't in Switzerland or Sweden, because I was working when these games were going on, so I couldn't watch. However, I think it's a good way to break it up like they're wanting to. Unfortunately, North America, not the greatest showing again. Gale Force eSports, who made their first trip to the Global Championships after beating Naventic in the North American regionals, lost in, I believe, their second round. In the third game, it was a good game. There were some misplays. There were some calls made. And unfortunately, they went home. They are still one of my favorite teams to watch. Super exciting. They are improving rapidly, so looking for really good things to come from them. Hoping to see them at BlizzCon. But the finals of this tournament between MVP Black and Tempest, apparently going down as the greatest series in the history, the very long history of Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, really?
But yes, MVP Black has been known for a while as the top team in the world. They crushed the last global championships. They, of course, came out and their coach announced that after BlizzCon this year, MVP Black may be done with Heroes, which kind of shook things up a little bit. But Tempest had topped MVP Black in the regionals there. And then they came back and won in this finals 3-2. So it went to game 5. And I have not had a chance to watch all 5 of those games yet. But if you haven't, check them out because they're supposed to be absolutely nuts. The level of gameplay is supposed to be just astronomically better than anything we've ever seen. The team fights are supposed to just be pulled off in complete perfection. So
cool.
It should be, if you love watching competitive heroes, make sure to watch those VODs.
Cool. Is there anything coming up in the next week or two that we need to be watching for HOTS? I know that for Hearthstone, the America's Spring Championship is actually happening this weekend, so keep tuned for that stuff if you're into Hearthstone.
Yes.
Any HOTS?
So I believe, man, pulling me off guard here. We actually have
I just thought I'd ask off the cuff. Come on. I'm not going to put everything in the show notes for you.
No, they typically have, honestly, it's very quick between spring and summer. I think it was only like a week, maybe 2 weeks before they started the next round of qualifiers. I do not know the exact dates here, but I do know, there's a lot of non-professional, there's a lot of amateur stuff coming up, community supported stuff, which is going to be really cool. And I wish I had more information on that off the top of my head right now, but I will actually be talking about that quite a bit tomorrow night as well.
Well, see, look at that. You can go to Lords of the Storm and check out that podcast because they talk all about Heroes of the Storm all the time. And really, I mean, the nice thing is that there are some great podcasts out there that talk about all these different games in depth more than we do here. I mean, we like WoW. We like WoW. We like to talk in depth about WoW. We like to talk about all these other games, but Lords of the Storm, Stormcast, those are your Heroes of the Storm podcasts for the guys on the show do. And then like John Horstman, he does the Payload podcast and Well Met podcast about Hearthstone, so you can check those things out. And yeah, just go explore, have fun with those different casts if you really want to get into those games. I think that does it, so we should probably just go to the mailbag.
We've got mail.
We do. And if you have a question about anything for us, about rating, about any of these other games, just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com or call our raid line, 612-787-RAID. And I'm going to go to one of these other questions. This one comes from Mike. What do you think of having a pentathlon for all the Blizzard games, Overwatch, Heroes, WoW, Hearthstone, StarCraft, to declare the best Blizzard gamer ever of all time? And do you think that they could do it successfully? That I'm adding that last part in, but Mike wanted to know about pentathlons to see who's doing what. Tattva, what do you think, man? Is that something that you'd be into?
Well, I mean, as far as the idea is awesome. Like, I love that idea. Just as far as okay, who's the biggest fanboy ever? But I mean, the rough thing is that there's a lot of team scenarios within that, and then competitive WoWs are rough. But I mean, as far as this whole Blizzard gamer idea, I'm segueing, I'm going straight into it. But anyways, one of the little projects I've been working on lately.
Oh yeah,
and trying to get set up.
Yeah,
this is perfect for it. So I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, but what we're trying to set up is this. Basically, the name of it right now is LOS Game Night. Super simple, but basically the premise is it's like a bowling league where just people get together, but instead they play video games. And how we're setting it up is I've contacted a lot of different people. Giz and Pat being some of those people.
What?
But there's a lot of people involved as far as content creators, streamers, CTR community people. But basically how it's going to be set up is there's going to be team captains. And then to keep it kind of casual and fun, I don't want it to be ultra competitive, at least to start. If there's a desire for that later, we could think about that, even doing a decathlon like this. Who knows? Maybe we could come up with it. Mm-hmm. But basically what happens is people sign up, and then you randomly get assigned to a team captain, and then you're with that you're with that team for the night. It's only going to be 2 hours, and we're going to rotate between games. So like 1 week it will be Overwatch, 1 week it will be HOTS. Like I really want to create some competitive WoW stuff outside of PvP. Like PvP would be fun too, but even like dungeon races, like I was involved in that dungeon race a little while ago, embarrassingly enough. And that was one of the, like, regardless of how awful
you made some
did,
different strat choices, and it ended up biting you in the butt. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, regardless of how awful that was, that was like that was one of the best experiences I've ever had playing WoW. And so to recreate that for other people seems like a lot of fun. And so like we're trying to develop WoW competitive PvE play, and so like from week to week we're just going to be doing different things and just having fun. All of the teams will be streamed by the team captain. So if Giz is your team captain, he's going to be streaming your guys' games on that channel. And so if
you're probably going to lose too. Just,
right, probably.
Probably.
Gizmo is horrible at everything except for heroes and WoW. That's it.
But I mean, as far as like if you want to participate though, I've never set up an Eventbrite before, and I hope I did it right. And this is going to be a learning process, but we're going to start at this coming Sunday. So if that's something that you're interested in, we're going to just get some teams together, play some Overwatch, stream it, talk a little trash to each other, whatever.
Yeah.
But
there's going to be a lot of trash talking.
Just create a little fun little environment. Because I mean, me personally, like I love raiding, and I've been missing that. And the biggest part about raiding is just being able to get together with those people, with your friends online and play video games.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to recreate this. And so if you are interested, you can go to losgamenight.eventbrite.com. Initially, we're only offering 30 tickets. It's free. You just have to sign up. And then, so there's only 30 tickets. So if you want to go, just head over there, sign up, and then we'll see it. It's going to happen every Sunday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific. So if you can make it, we'd love to see you. We'd love to play some games with you. And then again, this coming week is going to be Overwatch. So make sure you have that game if you sign up.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that question was just thrown out.
No. I have an answer for this question.
Okay, Gizmo, go ahead. What do you think about this question about the pentathlon, right? That's what
besides the whole, team, some of these being team games, things being an issue. I think it could be cool, like to be done as they've done the raid races at BlizzCon before. This could be in a cool event, kind of like that. However, I think the StarCraft players would take it easily because that is such a strategy, skill-based Twitch reflex game that, a lot of the Hearthstone players and Heroes players are ex-StarCraft players. So I think they could probably handle it pretty easy.
All right.
Well, I mean, my segue was going to be it's going to be an evolving thing. Game night's going to be an evolving thing, and maybe we could go into like a cool little community event like that, where it would be super casual and just funny. But
that'd be definitely funny. It would definitely.
So there's my answer.
Especially if I was involved, because I would be horrible at most everything. I'm okay with that.
If you play in these game nights with us, maybe you one day will play on stage at BlizzCon in the Blizzard Pentathlon.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
But it's a possibility.
It sounds amazing. It's the worldwide of esports. Wide world of esports. That's what it is. I can't even talk anymore. All right. Let's maybe get out of here. I don't know. Let's see. How can people find you guys? Tattva, what other than the game night thing, okay, which we know all about now. How can people follow you? What else are you up to? What is going on else that you need to talk about? Okay, well, our Twitter is just LOS_gaming?
I believe so. Okay.
LOS_gaming.
So you can just find us there.
For Los Gaming.
Los Gaming.
But I mean, as far as like anything else, like the game night's going to be fun and it's going to be on Sundays. But I mean, besides that, we're excited for Legion to come out. Like, I mean, primarily we're a raid guide channel, and there hasn't been a raid in like a really, really long time.
I know, it's been a while. It has been a while.
I mean, we've tried a few different things here and there. We put out some different videos and stuff to go different directions, but I mean, that's our bread and butter, so hopefully we can get back to that. But we're also looking to create some super simple class guides to help maybe people create or come to a decision about what spec they want to play in the coming expansion.
Right.
Who knows? We'll
Right.
see.
Right on. Cool. Gizmo, how about you? How can people find you? What are you up to in the next little bit?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at GizmoZord. You can also find me on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central, doing the Lords of the Storm show, that Heroes of the Storm podcast on Twitch at twitch.tv/Lords of the Storm, where tomorrow night we will be having special guest Artemis Howell joining us.
Oh, Artemis,
to
Cool.
talk some heroes, some Medivh, and some Heroes United, which is a really cool organization coming up that's combining the DG Open, Sweet Synergies, Heroes Hype, and eSports RCS to create an epic amateur league, which is going to be really fun. Also want to give a quick shout out to my co-host TBK Zord, who participated on this last week's Brawl with the Blues, featuring the new Medivh hero.
Nice.
So that was really cool. Stream he got to do with the guys over at Blizzard. So
Awesome.
check that out.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Torrent Think Tank. They actually had, I'm going to forget the guy's name. I think it's Jeff White, who is one of the special effects leads for the Warcraft movie. Really great interview. Go to torrentthinktank.com to check out all of that stuff. Really great interview. And I think if you enjoyed the Warcraft movie, even if you didn't, it's still a very good listen. So check it out. Torrent Think Tank. Really great. Okay. Let me play this music. There we go. All right, you can find me at Pat Crane on Twitter. By the way, you can find the show at Convert to Raid on Twitter, and you can join the conversation anytime. Remember our Discord. For an instant invite, point your browser to discord.convertraid.com. For email, go to convertraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter. I already mentioned all that stuff. Never mind. Let's see. Okay, you can join the Bazuba Guabo Nation by heading over to convertraid.com. That's where we have our show downloads, our forums, our videos, our audios, and all that kind of stuff. The guild stuff, too. It's convertraid.com. The show is on iTunes, YouTube, and around the internet. Around the internet. So make sure to check out all of that stuff. Convert to Raid Presents is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends at the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. So that's this version of the Battlenet News show. Thank you guys.
Man.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Tattva. Thank you. What?
Well, that's this version.
That's this version. We're doing another version in a few minutes now that we've done the rehearsal. But Tattva, thank you. Gizmo,
Yeah, we need to get
you.
Frowny Face back in his corner.
Man. Oh, man. All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it. So for all the guys at the Battlenet News now, for the Battlenet News show, goodbye, everybody, and have a pleasant tomorrow. No, that doesn't really work. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.